about SwizzY, Queasy, and Merstach, uncontested at the Hive. And some are looking at this could be one of the best POIs. You get the experience for itself, and then the elevation. Kelly and Mini-Miner were breaking it down, so that way they could start to build that base early and accumulate the Storm Surge, so that way later on in the game, they could easily start to rotate around.
And most importantly, Merstach and SwizzY, can you think of that? You can already tell the Gentlemates are going absolutely ballistic right now. SwizzY and Merstach just following through Queasy's commands here out of their IGL, but they've got the entire lobby in there.
Yeah, Chicho's the one that gets the down, but Kadu's the one that steals away the elimination and getting a lot of loot for their efforts. Queasy trying to do the same thing. Steal whatever is left back from Merstach. Chicho's got to play a little careful here not to take too much damage. SwizzY, Queasy, same thing, but they have multiple splashes. They got the slurp juice. They got the key to success in their inventory.
But they don't have the material, so that's why Queasy just drops all the way down to ultimate low. They're hoping that they can pick up an elimination or two, and then maybe look all of this material count drop to Tayson. SwizzY still holding his own as well. Deep inside of these ultimate low ground layers, he's looking to try and maybe cut off bolts in the process, but Kanata, Rapid, can the double revive actually be a
Obviously,
success?
we know that they're uncontested, but yeah, having the queen spawn, I'm thinking, bro, this is it, game over.
I mean,
and things didn't quite go that way.
It was unfortunate because the setup looked primed for a classic Queasy hype win. It just looked so set up perfectly, but Vivid, an unfortunate zone pull. We've seen it happen. You know, it's a part of the game. Of course, as a pro team, you are doing everything you can to mitigate any possible RNG, but sometimes the zones just don't pull your way. And I think that was really the thing that sort of forced them to have to not be able to play high in this one. Still, very good intentions from them throughout that game.
Oh yeah, 100%, right? It was actually a high ground take, right?
And they're already making it sure that they get those eliminations, and they even take down some of the top teams in their path. We'll switch on over to Hive. Kind of business as usual as Merstach gets the down on the Goofy from across the map. But there's too much space, there's too much distance, and you just look at their loadout, they don't have a ton of crash pads, they don't have a lot of Flowberry Fizz that they're using together, so they're not going to be able to easily rotate on over to get the elimination.
Also an issue with SwizzY having just been freshly knocked. That's going to mean that Merstach is now on revive responsibility, and then immediately straight back to trying to acquire additional surge from across the way. Oceana, though, definitely
from point A to point B, like most of these teams. And then you can see the whole stack side, the eastern side of the zone, that has the elevation. So now it's kind of like a mind game for some of these players. Do I give up my little bit of high ground to rotate a little bit more center, where there's less and less pressure from some of these teams? Or do I stay and hope for the best that the zone don't get eliminated? And obviously in the first game, they gave it up because they didn't want to go down. This time is their chance. 400 plus damage above the threshold, and it's continuously counting upward, and they pull the zone. That is the biggest difference from game 1 to game 2. They now have the front side, and they have full control. And Pronouncey trying to fly his way in.
allow it. Merstach, SwizzY, and Queasy are the real threat right now, though. They just continue to apply steady pressure to those mid layers. It's a big part of the reason why they press forward any longer, and they might just drop directly into Epic Whale's hands.
You're seeing a lot of the damage again. Higgs goes down. Pixie cleans that one up. That they make it count, that they got high ground in this game. 5 eliminations, and once again, they're connecting it. They're reinforcing. They're making sure nobody has a chance to contest them on the high ground.
Everybody underneath them is just a victim at this point, Jacob. Marius Vanya gonna play the medkit in the back of zone. SwizzY, though, shutting down Vanya the moment that he tries to push forward, and Merstach directly assisting here. Bolt, you're rocking a hard place, and Madi is gonna be knocked. Marius eliminated, essentially. There's no way his teammates are gonna be able to get to him.
Yeah, and you're also seeing Kanata fall, Rapid down. Not sure about both, but things are going sideways very quickly, and it gets even more worse because the zone is pulling over that mountain. If you didn't prepare for it, it's gonna be lights out, but SwizzY trying to stop Surf Juice. He's gonna be the first one that does go down for Merstach. Queasy, that's a huge signal.
That's the only one that made it to the mountaintop, and Queasy, it is just raining down from above. Queasy continuing to find those eliminations. Pump gonna be dropped. It's only Baka and Yeko, and Panther's been eliminated too. Queasy and Merstach away with it. No one left to challenge them. Kings of the mountain.
If you were to ask anybody, who do you think is gonna win? M8 is all what the crowd wants to see. And now 2 of their favorite players in the world just picked up a Game 2 victory royale. just lighting up the arena as we speak, and you're seeing the looks on their face. Now I want to know what they're thinking. Frankie, let us know.
Merstach, you have made the Gentlemates more happy than they have ever been here in Leon. What's it like to take the second victory royale here?
I mean, it's nice, feeling nice. I want to win more games, we're going to win more games, and they're going to scream more louder with every game.
I think they will.
Queasy, it felt like in game one, you tried to take the high ground maybe a bit too early. You couldn't hold it. This time round, there were no mistakes. How did you make sure the plan went flawlessly?
I mean, it's never too early. Like, even first game, if we got some lucky pulls, we could have had it. 4 pulls we had, and then they pulled over the water and was kind of unlucky we couldn't get it. But game 2, we got some favors in our way, and that's it.
You don't need luck to win this, Queasy.
Cette fois, ils n'ont pas laissé passer l'occasion. Il a dit cette fois, ils l'ont pris cette hauteur et ils sont allés au bout. What's the plan now for the next games?
Keep going high and playing our game, that's it.
Le plan de jeu il est clair. On va jouer la hauteur à toutes les parties et on va aller chercher d'autres victoires. Big shout out, bravo to Queasy, Merstach and SwizzY!
Stash. 2 different faces towards the sky, and with the zone pulling a whole different direction this game than the previous 2, it looks like it's pulling south, maybe a western lean. SwizzY and Merstach and Queasy, they have the luxury of waiting for all these teams from the north to rotate down into them, and that means easy surge for the first place team.
And Merstach wasting absolutely 0 time alongside SwizzY, blocking in some of these early surge tags. A little bit of hide and seek, but it's going to be Merstach coming out on top yet again. Goofy knocked, but you have to remember
their sleeve that they save for big moments just like this. As SwizzY, Queasy, Merstach, they're just making their way on over towards that bunker. They're one of the few teams in the lobby because they're uncontested at the Hive. They get that instant OXRHQ rank, and that is what they're able to use to kind of rotate on over to the vault and get some sort of exotic. You already see it's going to be the AR in SwizzY's inventory. And if you guys don't know, every shot you land with that AR, the next one just deals more and more damage. And putting it in SwizzY's hand, honestly, is very, very scary for the rest of the lobby.
and looted and booted, that is for sure. Merstach, SwizzY, Queasy, they've got so much time to work with in comparison to a lot of these other teams that are likely feeling a bit more pressured, a bit more pushed into trying to create, manifest some sort of surge damage just to be
17. That's where those placement points begin. They are in 31st place on the leaderboard, and it can only get worse if any of those two teams below them are still alive. But from the bottom side to the top side, SwizzY, Queasy.
They got SwizzY, Queasy, and Merstach on height, beaming everybody underneath them. These guys are applying so much steady and consistent pressure that nobody's having a chance to look up just yet. They've spotted now everybody else stuck underneath. This is everything for Queasy, Merstach, and SwizzY.
Just in case, but up goes Pixie. They're trying to go for that opportunity, but Mario says, no, no, no. We need to disengage. We cannot go for it, at least not right now. But he's taking so much damage on his way down. But SwizzY distracted for a short moment. A lot of his shields go out the window. Luckily for him, his entire trio is still there. 2,000 damage above the threshold. They won last game with 12 eliminations, and they're well on their way to do it again. And now, but how long can he hold on to it?
Vanya doesn't even care that it's just a 2 versus 3. He still tries to take that challenge, but SwizzY immediately, not against my IGL. I've got the backup here. SwizzY taking him out. Vanya, sorry that it's a fellow gentleman, but it's just business, not personal. Cammy also eliminated. Merstach now trying to see if he can take out Chap along the way, but Savage, Mr. Savage still making it work.
The Savage, but no, the entire trio ends up back in the lobby. SwizzY has finally come down. He's ready to steal this game away. They have 12 eliminations, already matching their last game win.
Don't count out Pix, Darman, Demons, though. These guys love winning through the low ground. We've seen them do it time and time. The team on low ground, though, and Merstach, SwizzY, they're starting to drop. They're trying to see if they can close this one out. Queasy finds a knot. Demons is out. Queasy going for the back-to-back. It is all Queasy, Merstach, and SwizzY.
I really do agree. The fans in Leon again going absolutely wild for this team. Queasy coming into the Global Championships They said that this competition was going to be owned by North America, but right now it's being owned by the High Ground Kings. How was that game? Just a complete repeat of the second.
I mean, we're just playing our game, that's it. Just playing end game, playing height, and that's it. Nothing more.
But why isn't anyone able to challenge you for that height right now? We've got huge names. In fact, in that last game, all of our top 5 trios made it to the end game, but you still came out on top.
I mean, I feel like it's the hardest of the hardest. It's hard to have a good mid game. A lot of teams are contested, so just hope we stay uncontested and we'll probably win.
You mentioned being uncontested. You may regret that. Benji, à toi.
Yeah, SwizzY, excuse me, SwizzY. Man, 3 games, 2 victory royale. What's your secret, guys? What's your secret?
Take height, don't die.
Le secret, c'est de prendre la hauteur et de pas mourir. Have you got any words for your fans, for the gentlemen fans?
Jungle. That's it. Jungle.
Gentle! Thank you, guys.
Merstach, what an incredible global championships for you so far. Is it all about the calls that this man is making, or is it all the chants that the M8 fans are making?
It's everything. Queasy, Agile, Gold, fans, crazy. Just best fans ever. Can't ask for better fans.
They're definitely proving themselves to be some of the most incredible fans in esports right now. However, we're halfway through our games today on day 1 in Lyon. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll be evaluating everything so far.
Yeah, I'm 100 mats. I'm still on. Take. On us. Shop as well. I'm playing zone. Yeah, chugging. Go. Yeah, me too. Go up. I'm high. He's here. Yeah. Crack. Nice. Nice. Yeah, zero mats. I have 3 pills. I have 5 shots. Take drugs as well. Yeah, I see Sola. Yeah. Dead. Nice. 100. I'm dropping down. I'm on the sphere. 100. Yes. 100. That's at 2. 1 sphere. Nice.
Too risky just yet, as Muzz, you see just a huge chunk of HP missing, along with Sphinx. And to start the game off, I did see Muzz get at least 1 knock. The drop spot for that team on the other side was just too far, giving them that advantage. And that's just kind of that early surge, and that's early confidence building for Koyo. They're going to be able to get a little bit of that hive spot, because you see Merstach, Queasy, and SwizzY rotating yet again to one of these bunkers. And the interesting thing about this team is because they do get the hive, because they are uncontested, and you look at the Demon's Debris and Dystopia, where it doesn't necessarily spawn there, Ranger's Ruin too far away. I mean, it's so early on in the game, but they're rotating all the way to the eastern side of the map to get these bunkers that they know no one else can get. And this is the 5-head type play that's coming out of Queasy, and it almost makes you wonder if he wins here to this weekend, is he #1 in the all-time list?
Yamzo, Higgs, on the other end of that note, they're still trying to see if they can leapfrog their way into that top 5 position from the leaderboard. How many times have we seen strong performances convert to a big jump in placement? But SwizzY, Merstach, Queasy, as long as they stay tried and true to their strategy, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, and they got such a good spot, not only because the high ground, but Taco, take a look. Where is the zone going? Over Foxy Floodgate. That means there's going to be someone looking all around, trying to get information, figure out where they need to put their focus at.
They're likely going to have to drop to ultimate low and maybe try to play a pre-edit off of a back tarp. That would maybe be their best opportunity to find some big... But they are right back at home. Queasy, Merstach, and SwizzY looking to control the dam, and that's the most important part of Foxy Floodgate. If you have the dam control, you have all of height.
Yep, top 17 though, this is where placement points are going to start to set in and cascade further with each and every team that does get wiped off the lobby. Merstach, Queasy, SwizzY, they are not backing down, they are not shaking, they're just terrorizing everybody around the lobby. Par's really feeling the pain there, and that's because they have that bird's eye view. Nobody is contesting SwizzY, Queasy, and Merstach on the high ground, and look exactly what's happening because of it.
There needs to be studies done on Queasy's brain, because this position is absolutely unreal. Mr. Savage jab, trying to do what they can to push back against SwizzY's pressure, but it's just so difficult to try and take those Bloom battles from overhead, Jacob. This is so much leverage over the rest of the lobby, and SwizzY now trying to make sure that he doesn't find himself eating more damage than what SwizzY and Merstach.
Savage team 2 points away from hitting that top 5. And the thing is, they were 1 point away, almost missing the Major 3 Grand Finals. They were 2 points in that last spot to secure the global spot.
And we haven't even started the conversation of how to deal with Queasy, SwizzY, and Merstach up above everybody else in this lobby, looking substantially healthier too.
I feel like I've seen this episode of Fortnite before. Game 2, Game 3, and it's looking like it could be possible for Game 4. 370 points and teammate Marius as well with the full trio up above. They get the wipe onto 1. They're looking to close this one out as well. Marius in his line of sight, but SwizzY, he takes a big shot. That's a surprise attack, but luckily for him, his 2 teammates have his back. Merstach gets the drop on Marius, stays alive. They're targeting out Vanya. 3v1 situation, and they go back to back to back to win another game.
When have you ever seen on the global stage the Tripskis of victory royales? Queasy, SwizzY, and Merstach are setting a new precedent here in the 2025 Globals performance, Jacob. This is insanity what we are witnessing right now, and they deserve all of the credit. But Frankie, let me know what else they have to say.
This is incroyable, Leon! SwizzY, please stand up. Can you believe this is happening?
Yeah, I knew we were gonna win.
You knew it. You are playing like you knew it too. Queasy, you've been to so many of these events, but I don't think this has ever happened to you. Back to back to back. Surely you can't believe what's happening right now.
I mean, I can. We practice a lot. So just lucky it's paying off right now. We need to just keep playing and hopefully we'll win.
It's been really interesting to also see what's happening with the North American teams. On the analyst desk, they were talking about the fact that in North America, the top teams are conditioning the lobby all the way through the season, but that's not happening on Globals. Is it simply a case of not fearing the competition, not believing their hype?
I mean, we're just playing our play style. There's like nothing, like we're not gonna play low ground if we don't know how to play low ground. So we're just staying on high and playing that, you know.
Actually, you did well for 3 games, for your team, but also for the crowd. Are you proud of that?
Yeah, I'm so proud. I'm proud of my fans. I'm proud of my teammates. Like, they're crazy.
And for you, will you keep the high ground for the next 9 games again?
I mean, the strat is take high, don't die. That's it.
Ils vont continuer comme ils peuvent, mais ils donnent beaucoup d'énergie pour vous et ils sont très fiers pour vous et aussi leur communauté et surtout leur trio. Thank you very much. It's crazy. You have another word for your crowd over there just in front of you.
I mean, I want to thank to every fan that came here watching us, and even if you're not here but watching, I want to say thanks to everyone. It's the biggest support ever.
Thank you.
Leon, one more time, please show your appreciation for Queasy, SwizzY, and Merstach!
But the team that has been putting on a show since Game 2, in Game 3, and in that last one as well, back-to-back wins, and you can see their first team to win 3 consecutive games at an FNCS LAN.
Terrain, hugging towards that lower territory so they don't get spotted out from those teams that are in those high ground positions. They're just fully covered by those clip faces, but looking into what are leading contenders, Bolt and Rapid in the distance, and of course, SwizzY, Queasy, and Merstach steadily starting to scale their way up towards an elevated position, but there's several other teams nearby that have the same intentions.
Yeah, if you guys see multiple teams in the distance, that Thunderbolt striking down, that Storm Surge, even though SwizzY, Queasy, Merstach don't exactly know those teams are below it, they will hear the shields crack. King's gonna go down, but Poyo is the one that's potentially stealing away those points. and maybe even the loot as it fully gets cleaned up. SwizzY, Queasy Merstach put the full target down on a PH He's just trying to get some of that loot from his fallen comrade.
Do SwizzY and Merstach ever miss?
No.
The answer's gonna be no. Okay,
No.
PH eliminated. Merstach with another one. But that's actually gonna be the first one of this lobby. They've just been collecting so many eliminations. Ballistic in this audience right now, and for good reason. Merstach said it. We're just gonna keep winning, and they've got 3.
He's watching the Queasy legacy in the making. Levin said it himself. The last time Queasy won 3 games in a row, he went on not only the backside of zone, they're attached right in the middle. It's not even gonna be easy when somebody eventually does.
But that's the problem. Nobody else can actually make their way up towards the high ground because SwizzY, Queasy, and Merstach refuse to budge to ultimate low. And with that in mind, Merstach, Queasy, SwizzY just non-stop berating. These teams are forced. They're looking up, they're looking down, they're trying to find refreshes, but they have no breathing room. They are being
challenge that they did not find success on, but relatively so. Even if they might not have the high ground, they put Queasy and Merstach.
Everybody, this might be it's Queasy's tourney so far, but we still want to take the Merstach! Merstach finding the biggest elimination of the event, the siphon carrying him forward. The hopes of Gentleman now resting on his shoulders. Flixie trying to burst. Every single one of their rotates, if they even make it off of their initial drop in the first place. But it's been a completely different story, as we all know, for SwizzY, Queasy, and Merstach. They have been titans of this lobby, and even with Merstach being knocked, no problem whatsoever. You mentioned Queasy, SwizzY, and Merstach, Jacob, because while they're here tackling Brazil, PH Zen, Phaser already knocked. That's going to be the eliminations there, excuse me, that's going to be damage having been done there. And Queasy now on the back foot. He's actually going to have to depend on Merstach and SwizzY to close this one out. PH Zen, if he gets the jump onto Merstach, that could be very problematic still. Merstach at least has SwizzY and Queasy in a good replenish, but Merstach knows it's cooked from this point. He can't press forward any longer. Maybe there's a reboot later.
Even though they're at the top of the leaderboard, they've taken more damage than they've dealt. But that just goes to show, like, how risky they're willing to play in order to get those eliminations, in order to be able to stay alive and build up that Storm Surge. As I see Arc taking out Alex, Anon's gonna get taken down by School. Not sure if OCE is still alive, but NA West trying to bring themselves back into this. And just by the looks of it, zone pulling so far away.
He's actually got a glimpse of Queasy up in the skies. Queasy having been spotted out, he knows this is trouble. We've got to start maybe working our way down. This is not the spot to be.
Right now, he's the one building their top on over because he has the double pump. Letting his teammates put pressure down from above is a huge part of their game plan. As they're 257 above, SwizzY, he has taken down Peterbot, their 3rd elimination of the game, and they're cruising inside of the top 12. This is what I'm talking about. You cannot expect this team to just go down with
ultimate low. This is a night and day difference for loadouts, but SwizzY still trying to bring it all together. He only has 5 builds, but he has to take a chance to heal, and Queasy picks it up where he left off. Eliminations onto Tisco. Now Pablo Gino overhead.
This is a good moment for all the players down low. They're distracted, already coming over, and I know he goes on runs.
Queasy, SwizzY, and Merstach. A little bit of rumbling.
And Queasy, business as usual, getting their early game Storm Surge, getting their early game rank ups, and then accessing the ball.
And the main thing to take note of here, Jacob, is that these guys aren't changing anything. Queasy, SwizzY, and Merstach are running this back as if we're still in day 1, despite it being at once and overhead. SwizzY, Merstach, Queasy, they're already starting to break through. You saw that first knock take place right now for SwizzY, and he's still after another Ritual and Peterbot. They don't even realize they're being shot from underneath, but it's actually Sphinx who's taking down Peterbot in this lobby. Shadow from behind, never sees it coming. SwizzY's got that elimination, and Muzz trying to save his teammate's life, but can the double revive actually come to fruition? situation with SwizzY applying so much pressure.
Yeah, multiple players, and he has that exotic, which is so much damage, just tearing through those builds. But you can see as Sony was the zone, pulled on over, they kind of brought themselves back. Probably Queasy making the call. We have to start to rotate. This zone is vital.
High ground.
That happened so fast, you blink, you might have missed it, because now there's a whole nother team on top. In the clouds. It's absolutely amazing. SwizzY down. Only 3 of the teams in our top 5 still alive. Merstach, Queasy, they're trying to be heroes, but Queasy not only takes a big shot, he loses SwizzY across the way. Merstach has to figure out a way to reunite into the same box. They do that very, very quickly, but it's not going to matter. Queasy goes down. Merstach gets the elimination, but he's all by himself.
The family sacrifice might have been everything that they needed, though. Merstach tarping like a madman, just trying to block off every possible angle. He knows there might be an opening, a teammate underneath that's just so much worse off than he currently is. But instead, it's both Kanata and Rapid. He's looking to play spoiler, but he can't get enough damage applied. Merstach still, somehow, some way, tarping through this middle layer, and nobody seems to be cutting him off just yet, but he's running out of material, and Malibu going to watch him overhead. They've lost Ping. Ping thought that he could take out Darm in the process. Instead, he loses his own life.
Somehow, Rapid, Kanata, Bolts all still alive on the low ground. Even with Bolts going down, they got the 1 second moment. This is it right now. Uncontested yet again, but the biggest difference from that last game to every other game before, there's more and more players looking up. There's more and more teams ready to contest it. They realize there's only 6 games left throughout the entirety of the day. 5 now with 1 already done, and their chances to overcome that point deficit is going right out the window.
I mean, watching it.
It's basically an uphill battle for Acorn and Azures. Merstach, SwizzY, and Queasy, though, they're still able to make their way towards the bunker. So Kanata, Rapid, Bolts, probably thinking better, not really willing to get caught up in this instance, but maybe they choose to wait outside. Maybe it's somebody else entirely that might be looking to shut Queasy down.
There's very few teams, Levin, that can even access this vault this early on in the game. So even there, they're not that close to another. They have to rotate towards that OXR HQ. They have to rotate towards the south. So for Vanya and Marius and Pixie, they're going to be able to kind of see Merstach, SwizzY, and Queasy. If they memorize their outfits throughout the course of the game, they're definitely going to get that.
That has got to be such an somebody else to try and roll through in this ultimate lower layer. But still, SwizzY, Merstach, Queasy, they are plotting for that height take.
Yeah, it's never a good sign when you see a team fighting on zone transition. You want to be ready to rotate. These guys are Queasy scouting out the rotate. Where can he find an angle to use that crash pad? Gonna have to create more space to do it.
That one's going to be easy. Gets to the other side with ease. He's not even distracted by the other players in his Darm. Demas waiting till the last second. Crash pad into the front side of zone. SwizzY, Merstach, Queasy, they have the materials. They did not play for the high ground. They're okay being down low in the dirt. They know they're the most dangerous team.
But they're shooting into a box that nobody's even inside.
Zone's going to the south. They got lots to figure out. SwizzY, Queasy now as a duo. We've seen them dominate from the skies, but how good can you guys take it? SwizzY
on land before, and third parties is looking to have a masterclass performance here. 600 points. SwizzY is just trying to keep them going across that finish line, scrambling in and outside of the zone. The Slurp Juice just a little B said, this is my drop. I don't care how many championships you have, Epic. I don't know how many championships you have, Arkham. You're gonna have to go through me. And it's full circle. Now they're on the same team, and that confidence for Victor V is at an all-time high.
This is a much more familiar sight, though, for SwizzY, Queasy, and Merstach. Arguably their best loadouts at this point of the lobby so far here today.
128 below the damage threshold. Queasy down. SwizzY, a sliver of HP. It's all up to Merstach.
But Merstach knows how to play it through as a solo. Blocks, Ping, still underneath that surge threshold. They're trying. They're so desperate. Everybody around them knows it too. They're not trying to allow the opportunity to let these guys break through their builds. But Merstach as a solo, what more could you possibly do? He's still buying points.
Chance for them, and this is a big chance because we're still into the top 15. They have no eliminations for Merstach, SwizzY, and Queasy. They only have 2 placements versus placement points. This is how you close the gap.
They're certain to have seen what that elimination feed looks like, though, but Demas, Darm, Pix, seeing them control the low ground comes as no real surprise, but they know they've got to keep a hold of that front side. They're immediately going to start making their way towards it. but they still got to be careful. Height overhead. Merstach is a solo. He'll be forced to drop to ultimate low. Malabuka creeping directly underneath him, but Merstach, he doesn't realize it. He only has 6 builds. He's trying to conserve as much as he possibly can. He's just
pressuring over and over and over, whether it's an AR, the double pump. They're not letting any team look up.
It's an issue, though. Anon, Alex resigns from the low ground. They might be able to pick off Yuma, but they got to worry. Just continues to hold strong here. But someone who hasn't had any issues with their early game, it's going to be SwizzY, Queasy, and Merstach, just taking full advantage of everything that's provided by the Hive. And SwizzY, even room, maybe we'll see Mr. Savage back in this one.
And for Queasy, SwizzY, and Merstach, this is a moment. This is a moment because they've had 2 lackluster games so far. One decently well-played one, and that 185-point gap got dropped to 81. But with still
He has to stay hidden. He has to conceal himself in the backside zone. Merstach, he's lost the overhead. Darm is going to meet his demise at the hands of Merstach, but Merstach, just not enough gas left in the tank. SwizzY, Queasy, and Merstach know full well they had such a monumental lead to start the day, but it only took several matches, and they've watched those points quickly go the other direction for everybody else.
Now, 59. This lobby is getting destroyed by aggression right now.
These guys are crashing on each other is what that tells me, Vivid. But Queasy, SwizzY, and Merstach, they're taking a much more tactical approach. Queasy, the mastermind, you have to remember, back at the Invitational in 2022, he was the one that made the decision. I want to land on them. I want to challenge it, and it's not as direct, but it's still there.
Jacob, this is a strategy. They know they land OXR. They're waiting on top of the mountain. They want to rain down the shots as they fly through the sky.
They crack the shields onto 1. There's just so much distance before he reaches the ground. He's out of render distance overall. Instantly comes the crash pad. Merstach, Queasy, SwizzY, they're trying to rotate in that direction. Finally, they get another opportunity, and it works! Vanya goes down! Merstach, SwizzY, and
But
Queasy.
they're going all in here. SwizzY, Queasy, Merstach, they're looking to control their own destiny. They want to take down Vanya. They want to make it so that game 12 isn't even close. But Merstach, Queasy, SwizzY, they're just not able to close the
Take
gap.
that spot. Viewpoints separate them, and SwizzY's probably realizing their backs are up against the wall, maybe even second-guessing this decision to go ahead and try to surprise.
No risk, no story, though. And Marius a little bit split apart here. Merstach, Queasy, SwizzY,
Oh my
they're still
God.
chasing them all the way down to the bird to go. These guys are full-on fighting inside of the storm. It's early zone tick, so they don't have to worry too heavily, but it's the storm sickness, Jacob. Both of these teams are
in the
delaying.
end game, but they're continuing to go. They want to chase this one down, but Pixie on the other side, he's the most elevated. Vanya, he's on the low ground trying to heal the best that he
is
can.
becoming fully aware that the investment is soon becoming not worth it. How aggressive they're going to get. They're coming right box to box, wall to wall right now.
But think about the biggest differences here. Queasy's team, they're not actually...
They have the majority of the heals. You already see the slurp juice in the inventory, med kits being used. Essentially almost 200 HP and shields combined between these two. Deep in the zone, and it's only the 4th one overall. Merstach and them still have splashes underneath. Vanya's dropping, almost gets boxed up. Merstach is now the last one alive. Merstach and SwizzY, they lose Queasy, but it's only a knock. He's quickly going for the revive. A miracle in the making.
Eyes on it. It's one thing to take them out. It's another to keep building
Next zone.
But just above them on the other side of this mountain face, Kanata, Rapid, Bolts, they see the crash pad. Merstach, he's been clipped. Merstach is brought down. SwizzY also incredibly low. They're going to be forced to drop all the way down. That height security that they were once hoping for has been completely lost here. Queasy, the healthiest member of his team, but he's got nobody.
Round comes around. If you want to sit in storm and fight between 1st and 2nd place, you want that one to be drawn out. You want to invest everything you have into it. Once you realize that you got to make one of these rotations all the way up the mountain, all of these aimers kind of paying attention to you, you realize quickly you don't have what it takes to survive in this lobby.
Oh my, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. I talked about them being out. And now 5th place has just lost their IGL and Rapid, and it's Queasy and SwizzY that are doing the majority of that damage as they try to make their way into the zone.
But Queasy can't get down. He has no mats. They were all on SwizzY and Merstach. They hadn't had a chance to actually drop any of their materials. He does see a crash pad. He's trying to bring SwizzY up with him. And now SwizzY manages to connect. What a brilliant play from Queasy. Most players would have probably taken that for themselves, but he said, nah, you're coming back up here with me.
That's just a shine. That's just a glimpse. That is 7,000 IQ and the selfless plays, and why we call him one of the greatest IGL. No, forget that. That's why we call him one of the greatest Fortnite players in the history of the game, and he's looking to prove it. If he could just close out these last 2 games, even with the loss of Merstach, there's still 1,100 damage above the threshold as they land a couple more shots. Now 1,200 and continuously rolling.
But this is a really healthy trio. Cooper, Curly, Reed. I don't know that that's what Queasy's really looking to chase up. He's not trying to bark up the wrong tree here after all. They've got to be a little bit more reserved.
Maybe they can make something happen. As I say that, Queasy actually gets knocked. Now it's going to be all left to SwizzY. SwizzY gets knocked down.
Business as usual on the north side of the map, with almost a 50-plus point lead for Queasy, SwizzY, and Merstach. Big money spot of the top 3. SwizzY, Merstach, Queasy, even with the zone pulling so far towards the south, they know it's very, very important for them to get their Storm Surge first. And then they throw one of those upgraded launch pads down. They hit the Flowberry Fizz, and they do have the chance, though. We saw Cold, we saw Ritual go back to Dystopia. As we go and see SwizzY, Merstach, and Queasy yet again accessing the bunker. Not too far away from the Hive, just outside of Ranger's Ruin and Foxy Floodgates. And they now have the Mythic. They have the Medallion.
The crowd is chanting, but the same case scenario for Vanya as well. They're still looking to try and overtake first place. And if Merstach, SwizzY, and Queasy get lobby focused, that could be the ultimate difference maker. But instead, SwizzY fires back. It's going to be a takedown. The elimination couldn't have come at a better time.
And that's 4 more points for them, inching themselves closer and closer to it being mathematically impossible for any and truly shake things up, especially since they have a max pull across the map and a few teams trying to make and mirror that same rotation. First comes the crash pad, then the Flowberry Fizz, and they can continue that rotation until they make the zone. But Taco, more than half of this...
Nobody has taken a shot at them along the way. It's a bold maneuver, but it pans out heavily in their favor.
This lobby actually is, but they continue to steamroll. Merstach, SwizzY, and Queasy find their 3rd elimination.
Pixie and Marius, they can see it all in the elimination feed. 3 additional elims for SwizzY, Merstach, and Queasy. They have so much ground to cover just from placement points alone, and the elims are doing them no favors whatsoever. But Merstach, SwizzY, it's like Queasy told them, just be off the leash, do whatever you want, just find those eliminations.
Up there it goes, School. Trying to drop down low. He's the first one to get knocked. Sauco followed, and they have to make sure Queasy, Merstach, and SwizzY somehow go down outside of the top 8 as they continue to move through. It's becoming more and more impossible. There's 600 plus damage above the threshold. They're looking down to the backside of the zone, trying to figure out where the weakness is for any of these trios trying to rotate in. Even with Kanata down below, they're lurking, no visual audios. But if you look at the sky, that's Marius, Vanya, and Pixie, but they lose Vanya throughout this mix. They're on that middle ground where all the chaos ensues.
Vanya just barely managing to start to get his life back up to a healthy level. SwizzY, Merstach, Queasy though, they see the high ground. They're starting to go for the chop. Malabuka gonna be forced to drop eventually, but can Malabuka even get down in the first place? I don't think so. Queasy, they don't hesitate. They're immediately surging upwards.
This is the moment right here. SwizzY goes down. Merstach has fallen.
Simply crazy finish. Nobody could have been leading the charge. They had such a monumental lead over the entirety of the lobby, but it still all came down to the wire. They knew it was a marathon from the get-go, but they sprinted.
700 points, 3 victory royales. They have done it.
It almost seems as if it hasn't even fully keyed in yet. Merstach and SwizzY, they're letting everyone here in Leo know it's Gentle Mates
nos champions, Queasy Merstach and SwizzY!
Merstach, you have been to so many of these global events. You've never placed inside the top 10. How does it feel to be a global champion?
It feels nice. I can't believe it. Still, like, we've been playing this year. We played so great every Grands. We should have won every Grands, but now this is the day when we won.
You might not have won an FNCS major final in 2025, but that doesn't matter right now. You are the best team in the world. Queasy, you are the greatest IGL Fortnite has ever seen. Can you believe it?
I mean, after today's performance, I don't know about that, but I mean, we pulled through, we got it, so that's all that matters.
Well, talk to me about today. Yesterday, we were all saying this trophy was surely yours. But this morning, those first 3 games, they didn't go your way. Did you think you were going to have to settle for second place again?
No, I was playing only for first. That's why we did what we did in the game 11, and I mean, shout out to them. Because we went into this like thinking like 99% we're gonna win, and it pushed it to the last game. So shout out to Vanix Trio. Like, I don't even know, they did amazing.
Guys, I'm with SwizzY. Je peux pas vous le dire autrement. SwizzY a les larmes aux yeux. SwizzY est ému. Regardez, SwizzY. I saw the real tears in your eyes. How do you feel, SwizzY?
I feel amazing. Last year I couldn't play with my duo. Now I'm here and I win.
Cette année, c'était la bonne pour lui. Enfin la bonne. Il est tellement ému, SwizzY. Good luck for the future.
Guys, I have to ask, what makes this a world-beating team?
Them too, just fragging ability. I mean, they solo clutched the game 11 with 2v3. I don't know. I try to do my best. Today, I feel like I underperformed by a lot, but they pulled through and they got me the win.
Well, you're not going to think about that anymore because you guys have a trophy to lift. Guys, please take your position. To Le Mans, please, one more time, give it up for your 2025 Fortnite Global Champions. It's Queasy, SwizzY, and Merstach!
I cannot believe it. In this moment, your global champions, Queasy, SwizzY, Merstach, taking it all the way to game number 12. To think, Kelly, at the beginning of this year, this trio formed, and we thought, what the heck are you talking about? This sounds like a high-caliber trio. To qualify, to bring it here, to push everyone else on land.